Hey, Ravi Jayagopal here from digitalaccesspass.com, fondly known as DAP, and subscribeme.fm. Today, I wanted to make sure that I'm live. Yes, I am. And today, I wanted to talk to you about my Kindle reviews strategy and what is the least impactful word for a marketer. And let me start with the least impactful word, and that is newsletter. And I see this time after time after time. People's websites I go to, and even the websites of people I coach, my coaching clients. That's the first thing I look at. What is the sign up form on their homepage? Say a lot of times it'll say sign up for my newsletter. I'll give you weekly tips and tricks. Blah blah blah. That's it, right? They don't sell the free stuff. So you have to sell. That's the crazy thing about today in 2019 is there's so much free stuff online. Everybody has a report. Everybody has a webinar. Everybody has some kind of a master class. And so you've got to sell your free stuff. You got to sell them, the visitor, on your free stuff, what free stuff you have. So you have to promote it and say more than just sign up for my newsletter and get updates about this website. Guess what? I'm not interested about updates to your website. I'm not interested in just updates to your pricing. I'm not interested in a discount on what you're selling because I didn't come to your website just to buy your stuff. I came there to see if you can. I came there somehow, right, through social media, some kind of social link or somewhere. I found you online, and I came there to see what you've got. Whether you can earn whether I can know you, like you, trust you. Then down the road you can sell me. But if straight away, if your reason for asking me to join your newsletter is to give me a discount on the stuff that you want me to buy, that doesn't make sense, right? My allergies are acting up. Sorry about that. Um, and so don't just say sign up for my newsletter. You've got to offer a bigger benefit. Lead with the benefit. And I'm going to talk to you about how to increase the perceived value of your free report in a second. So the first thing is check out your sign up form. Don't be just saying sign up for my newsletter because people don't need one more newsletter in their inbox. They don't need one more email in their inbox unless you sell them on why they should join. And you literally sometimes have to write a squeeze page and like it's a sales page for your free sign up, right? All right. So, and let's say you're offering a report. And one of the easiest ways I have found to increase the perceived value of your free report is to actually make it a Kindle book first. So you first write a Kindle book. Your Kindle book doesn't, a lot of people have the misconception that Kindle book has to be, 100, 200 pages long. It doesn't have to be. A 30-page, well written, really strong, 30, 50-page report can be easily a Kindle book. It's not like I heard somebody else say this. This is not my own quote, and I wish I had said this first. There's no such thing as too long. It, but there's no such thing as too long, only too boring, right? Similarly, there's no such thing as too short, only too inconsequential, too trivial, and not enough value. So if you can pack enough value into a 30-page report, more power to you. And if you can show them how to do one thing and do that thing well, and instead of talking about the history, a lot of people go into just the history of everything, right? If you go into read many Kindle books, the first few chapters are full of fluff because they start all the way from the beginning. This is literally annoys the heck out of me. It's like listening to a podcast where the guest, who's the promise of the title is how you can, I don't know, how you can get uh, earn a big audience for your Instagram account, right? That's the said promise that drew me in. When I go there, it starts with 5 minutes of introduction and banter, and then the guest, the lazy host, throws a question to the guest and says, "Why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?" That's probably the most annoying question for me as a listener, if I'm there as a guest. I don't have a choice but to talk about myself because obviously the host has probably not done his research, doesn't care to do the research. But so same way, Kindle books, a lot of Kindle books, a lot of fluff, a lot of background, talking about the history, and just talking about what you're going to talk about, or what you're going to read. You're going to read about this. You're going to learn about. Stop telling me and actually just get into the content, right? So the same way. Now, obviously, you might think, many live videos are like that. But again, you have to know there's a difference between a live video, somebody going off of a train of thought in their head, versus edited, something that you could write, you could prepare, you could rehearse, you could send it to an editor, and you had time to think about it. So written word, a Kindle book is not the same as a free a live video. So back to my point, easiest way to increase the perceived value is to write it as a Kindle book. It doesn't matter how long it is. And then a lot of people leave it at that, right? Even if they go to the next step of writing a Kindle book, they'll, if you see, there are so many Kindle books which will have zero or one review or two reviews, and that's it, right? Because the authors never took the time to actually promote and get some reviews. So here's my Kindle review strategy that you can use to increase the perceived value of a report. Become an author, a Kindle author at the same time, right? If you have a Kindle book of it's 30 pages long, congratulations, you are a published author. It doesn't have to be a fancy book publishing house that's publishing your book. It doesn't have to be a real book. If you release a Kindle book, you are technically an author, and that's all you care about. And if you can add value to whoever is reading it, that's all that matters. So you write the book, you publish it, and then one of the best ways to get reviews is go into join a few Facebook groups or on online forums that are in the similar niche, right? In the same niche as what your book is about and what you are an expert about. And then this is you have to play a long game here, because you cannot be selfish and you cannot be greedy, and you have to offer value first. You have to give the value to the group members. You have to join and participate, and not just hit and run posts where the host says, "Hey, post your podcast link, or post your website link, or post your Instagram link." You don't just participate in those. You actually answer questions. You like and comment on people, on the admin's posts, on other people's posts. You add value. Don't just say, if somebody asks, don't just participate in the junk creating posts. Like somebody will say, hey, like this happens a lot in many groups. What is, what did you have for breakfast today? Or something like that, right? Totally not relevant to the actual group topic. And it'll be, hey, I got 10,000 downloads overall, or my YouTube channel got 1,000 subscribers. Those are fine. Those are not, commenting in those are okay, that you should do it if you can, but that's not what is going to set you apart as an expert. You have to offer extra content. You have to offer your perspective. People don't need content. So one of the sayings I have is, people don't pay for content, they pay for perspective. So use that with your membership site, with your online course, with your forum. People are not paying for more content, they're paying for perspective. So if somebody says, what is the best web host to use? A lot of people will just say whatever they use, right? They don't talk about, that's because they only tried one or two hosts, and they'll just talk about their own experience. But if you can say, I've used this, and this is why this is better, and if you offer the perspective, then you automatically earn the trust and respect of the group. So join the Facebook group, earn their trust and respect by offering value, by commenting and adding your perspective and your knowledge and your experience to the situation. And then over time, as you gain more trust and respect, then now you can approach the admin. Don't spam any group. Do not post self-promotional stuff. You'll get kicked out most groups. Plus, you lose the respect. And once people think of you as a spammer, you'll just lose your spot. You'll just they'll just lose respect. And once they lose your respect, it's going to be very hard for you to sell them or get them on your list and promote stuff or whatever it is. Give them value. Once they say, this guy, he's just here to hit and run and promote his stuff, you'll lose their respect. So don't do that. Join their group. Once you have offered value, once you have established yourself as an expert, now you can go to the admin and say, hey, I have this Kindle book. I'm looking to get some reviews. Do you mind if I post it? I'll happy to give it away for free to anybody who leaves me a review. Now, there's a small nuance to this. According to Kindle's terms of service, you cannot say, buy my stuff, buy this Kindle book, and if you leave me a review, I will give you a bonus. You cannot offer a bonus for Kindle. You can do that for Apple reviews, iTunes reviews. You can probably do that for YouTube. Say, hey, join and leave me a comment, and I'll give you some bonus. You can probably offer incentives on other platforms. You can do it on Facebook. Hey, like or comment below, and I'll give you something. Right? That's very common. You cannot do that on Kindle, even for a free report. You cannot say, go ahead and buy my Kindle book or download my Kindle book, and then if you leave me a review, I will give you a bonus. You cannot do that. So that's against the terms of service. Instead, what you can do is, hey, I would like to give you a free copy of my Kindle book, and I would really appreciate it if you would leave me a review, right? You can come from that angle, and you can also push it slightly further and say, hey, I have written a book about this subject. This is my title. Here's the link. If you are willing to read it and give me a review, I'm happy to give you a free copy. You don't need to give me, I'm not asking for a 5-star review. I'm not asking for a positive review. I want you to leave honest feedback. If you have the time to check out my book, please comment below. That should be the gist of your post. So ask the admin whether you can post that, and sometimes if you're good friends with the admin, they'll post it for you, and that's even more powerful. So once they post it, and don't directly offer the link to your book or the sign up form or whatever self sign up form for that free report. Don't offer it directly in the post. Just say, please comment below. And one of the things that helps is with that strategy is every time somebody comments, your post comes to the top of the group. Otherwise, what will happen if you give them a link in an active group, 2 minutes or 5 minutes later or half an hour later, your post is gone. And people don't have the time to scroll past, which is one of the biggest disadvantages of Facebook, is that it's a watch now feed, right? It's you log into a Facebook group or into your own Facebook feed. You just scroll through for like a couple of minutes, and you like, comment, and get out, right? So that's why it's important to say, please comment below if you would like a free copy of my book in exchange for a review. And once they say yes, I'm interested, private message them. Sometimes most of the times you may not be you may not be friends with them. That's okay. Comment in below their reply and say PM sent, and keep doing that, and get their email address in the PM private message, right? Say have a template that says, hey, thank you for your interest. Please let me know your email address and I'll give you access. So once you do that, they'll give you their email address. 99% of 99% will give you their email address, no problem. There'll probably be one person who'll say, give me the download link, and you say, sorry, I need your email address to give you the report, because you're going to add them to your membership site. In my case, I use obviously digital access pass, DAP, and I give them manual access on the back end, and that sends them some welcome email, and with the login information, they can log in and they can download the PDF version. So, and then I will also add them to my Aweber list of the same for each product in my membership site in DAP. I create equivalent Aweber, whatever email service you're using, create an equivalent thing in that list in that, and then you can add them so that you have the option of sending an email through DAP. In my case, we use Amazon SES, Simple Email System, so that it has really high deliverability. We don't send emails to the web host. All right, so you get their email, you add them to a list And obviously you should tell them that you're being added to a list. It's not cool to add them to a bunch of lists without their knowledge and permission. And you always include an unsubscribe link in the email. So let me see. I'm just taking my notes here. All right. So
I don't understand. I'm sticking up here.
shut up. Okay. So once you have posted the link, say PM below, they send you an email, their email ID, you add them to your list. And then in the list, now, here's the cool stuff that most people will not do, right? In the welcome email, you can say, hey, thank you for accepting to read and review my book. Here's the download. You can download it. There's no obligations to leave a positive review. I'm not asking you for any of that stuff. I just want you to leave me an honest review, and I would really appreciate it if you were able to do that this and within the next few days. And one of the things I forgot to mention is when you post in the Facebook group, make sure there's always a deadline. Otherwise, you'll just get a lot of freebie seekers who'll give you their, who'll download it, who'll not even log in. Actually, they'll say, "Hey, I want this book. I'll review it," and they'll never review it. In fact, even after offering a deadline and all these kinds of stuff and reminders and autoresponder emails, there'll still be a bunch of people, probably 30 to 50% of people who will never log in because they just raised their hand because everybody else was commenting on it and your post kept coming up to the top. So they said, yes, me too, me too, me too. And then they'll never do anything with it. That's okay. You remind them a few times, and then they're going to be on your list, and you keep sending them value. And hopefully one day, sometimes people, they're in the midst of something, personal issue, family issue, work issue, and they're just not in a place to read or review. But even though they may have said they want to, and it's only free stuff, so obviously there's not enough value for them. But keep them on your list. Don't trash them. Don't say, hey, how come you didn't do this? How come you didn't leave a review? And so what all of this does is it gives you their email address, and it made them private message you. So now you have them in Messenger as well. So you can also follow up on Messenger, and after a week say, hey, just following up to see if you got a chance to check out my book. It's a whole series of follow-ups. That's unfortunately the thing you have to go through. There is no magic pill here. You have to join Facebook groups. You have to provide value. You have to develop relationships, and then you have to develop trust and admiration and respect. And then when you offer something like this, you will get a lot of people. Hopefully, if it's a big group, and then you can use that to further relationships. Send them to your podcast, send them to your website. Now they are on your list. You can send them. Obviously, you could also promote your newsletter. And now you really say, don't just say join my newsletter, and give it a name. And so now that's how you build a relationship. And I have a whole bunch of these posts and emails, everything. I have put together a PDF, or rather, I'm actually putting together a PDF report that contains all these templates, and you can have it for free if you join my newsletter. Yay! There comes that word again. So I'm going to show you my actual newsletter. It's called Ravi's. It's called R5. If you go to subscribeme.fm/R5, the letter R and the number 5, and that stands for Ravi's Rants, Raves, and Roundup Report. It is a pretty cool newsletter. And let me see if I can bring up the screen here and read out maybe you can see it here. My tripod is covering my so basically it's everything I read, watch, and think. Business, tech, media, mind, marketing, tips, riveting, relevant, interesting bits and bytes. So it's really cool. So check it out at subscribeme.fm/R5. And if you do join, just hit reply. Once you join, let me know, and send me an email to Ravi, R-A-V as in Victor, I, at subscribeme.fm, and say, give me my Facebook template. and I will send you the PDF report of all the whole Kindle strategy that I just talked to you about. All right. So let me know if you have any questions or comments. Let me know in the comments below, and check out my podcast where I talk about a lot of this stuff. Whether it's the Kindle review strategy, whether it is you know content marketing, email marketing, promoting and making offers and building relationship. I talk about end to end of what it is like to be an entrepreneur today and set yourself apart in this world of constant content being thrown at you, constant marketing being thrown at you, a lot of ads. Everybody has a report, everybody has a webinar, everybody has something going on. So uh, let me know via the comments below, and do join my newsletter at R5 at subscribeme.fm/R5, the letter R, number 5. Cheers and talk soon.